Burfer and Sparkles. You wanna have Burfer and Sparkles. You wanna have pack your things and change your life. Oh, Burfer and Sparkles have fun. You wanna have fun.
If you'd have told me by episode 4 that we would have a jingle for this podcast, I'd have been like, you are absolutely crazy. Like there's no way we were going to get.
And then you would be singing on it.
All right. You've already heard it. Okay. We have to say thank you very much to our friend Tassos for making us such a lovely gift.
Once again.
That we can use. Hello, hola, and yes, welcome to Bear, Fur, and Sparkles, the podcast about leaving your old life behind and starting fresh living abroad. Hello there. My name is Fernando. I am the one that is living in Lisbon, Portugal with my partner of nearly 18 years. We wanted to live somewhere in Europe for almost as long as we've known one another. After visiting Portugal a few times, we decided let's go for it. And this stint living in Lisbon was originally a 2 or 3 year long adventure, but this deadline for our time here has been extended to indefinite. We're currently wrapped up in figuring out how to speak Portuguese, being fierce competitors in our local English language trivia game nights, and finding a new apartment closer to a few trees and away from the constant jackhammering from the brisk urban renewal that is happening all around us here in Lisbon, Portugal, because, everybody else has also decided to make this city their home.
Hi, is that what we're calling a new Friday night or Saturday night adventure?
What's that?
Jackhammering for urban renewal? I like it. Sounds like a good party.
Sounds like a great party. Jackhammer? Jackhammer for urban renewal?
Jackhammering for urban renewal. My name is Jason, and I'm living in Athens, Greece. Most nights I'm doing this adventure solo. I first came to Athens in 2017 and immediately fell in love, but it took me 8 years to make it a reality. If you've got that dream where you want to pack your bags and change your life, learn patience.
And speaking of, how many years it took you from the inception of the idea to move to Greece and then actually arriving there, we've got a listener question coming up later inside the podcast that has something to do with that. So I just wanted to kind of keep that swirling in your head because I think we have someone who could use a little bit of help trying to navigate, that in-between time of hey, I want to do this and then actually doing it. Even though we chose 2 completely different locations for our European journeys, we are experiencing many of the same challenges and adjustments. And then there are many situations that are unique to either Portugal or Greece. Again, I'm the one that's in Lisbon. Jason, you are the one in Athens. This is a reoccurring theme, fantasy versus reality. Where's my little
Did you put all of your things in? Did you put your things in storage?
We had a 10-foot by 10-foot storage unit. It was our just in case, in case we got here, hung out for a while, and then thought, I think we better go home. Then, we had just kind of some of the necessities, things for the kitchen, some furniture, things like that.
I have a small storage unit with necessities, like a sling, because that just seemed very difficult to get over.
Why would Fernando? That be difficult to bring over?
It's heavy.
What kind of sling you got? Some sort of industrial strength? Or what?
I got that Mr. S leather portable sling.
Oh, it's quality.
It is quality. And let's get real. Beds are too low. Sling puts it at the right height. We're gentlemen of a certain age. We got to worry about the knees.
It's funny that you bring that up because that's your fantasy versus reality today, isn't it?
Well, not that one, not specifically. But best part is that sling, I think, is going to be checked luggage for someone coming over to visit me next week.
Will they be bringing that?
They will be checking it as a beach swing.
What is it? I'm assuming it's black and leather and.
No, it's red. I don't have the leather sling. I have the cloth. Or not cloth, but you can throw it in the washer. It's wonderful.
Oh, okay. Like a canvas.
It's a canvas. Thank you. You unclip it, but it has the whole superstructure. So it goes into a bag in the closet and then you pull it out and put it together in 5 minutes.
I wonder if that's going to save you on taxes though. You know what I mean? They're going to attach a tariff to it. Oh no, man, this beach.
No, it's checked luggage.
Oh, okay. It's checked luggage.
That's why it's a beach swing. She coming to Greece.
I can't imagine, because I mean, I don't know if it's the same in Greece as it is here, but like when you try to mail something larger than a letter, anything larger than a letter, forget it. They're going to open it. They're going to figure out how to tax it and charge you an additional fee to receive it. They won't even send it to you. You got to go and pick it up. They're going to hold it for ransom. I can imagine them looking at this thing going, I don't know. We don't have a sling on our list, our chart here. Like, I have no idea what to charge.
Let me be clear. The beach swing idea is not from me. This comes from the gay elders. The one that told me this, rest in peace. He once went to Mexico and they asked him at customs what it was. And he said, "Oh, it's a beach swing. We're going to Puerto Vallarta." And so now if you travel with a sling, just say it's a beach swing.
Now you can travel the world. Sling in tow, ready to go. So I'll tell you what, why don't I lead off with my fantasy versus reality?
Sounds good.
I mean, if you enjoyed this first part of the conversation, you wait until we get into Jason's fantasy versus reality, which will be immediately following. All right. So let me get into my fantasy. Jason, I imagined eating so much delicious, healthier food that I thought for sure, this is me still in California, I thought for sure these stubborn extra pounds that I've been carrying around would just fall off. Like I'd be walking down the street, I'm like, oh, look, there goes one. Like it fell down on the sidewalk. Now, truly, 1 or 2 months of enjoying more nutritious things with fewer harmful dyes and pesticides and chemicals, I mean, would have me not only looking better, but also feeling better as well. Unfortunately, the truth is, I have lived here for almost 3 full years now, and as of this week, I weigh more than I did when I first arrived.
What? Really?
Oh, I totally do. Yeah, I've gained 10 pounds in 3 years.
It doesn't look like it.
Well, thank you.
It's all muscle. It's all muscle. You gain muscle.
You know what? That it is true, and that's the other thing that I also found out this week is that yes, a lot of it is muscle. Probably like almost half of it is muscle, which I am super proud of. In fact, the fact of the matter is that I like the way I look, and I work out consistently like now, and I have definitely added muscle to my body. So it's it's not just additional fat. Thankfully, I'm not stressing about it. But as for what I thought would happen versus what has actually happened, well, I feel like the comparison is pretty strong. It's pretty stark. I thought I would be like going into my new otter phase, skinny and hairy, not, bulky and hairy.
Fernando, we are gentlemen of a certain age. It is okay.
You're right. It's true. And you know what? I love me. I love what I look like. I'm a little bit embarrassed because of what I thought would happen versus what has actually happened. And that's what I'm embarrassed about. I'm not embarrassed about like my body or what I look like or what I weigh right now. This is the beauty of also being at this age, is because you just care so little. You just care less and less about that shit.
If your fantasy was you were going to be walking around Europe and pounds were going to be falling off of you, you really don't care. Because if I saw somebody and I don't know, cellulite was just dropping on the ground.
Sneaking out the legs of your pants, right? Like
that sounds like a depends moment. Like, what is going on? But Fernando, like when I come to your house, I remember being at a pool party at your place and there being food for days. And then when I came to stay with you in Lisbon, not that you guys don't have enough money for food, but like that fridge was sparse. It was clear. There was some yogurt. There was some granola. I think there was a wine bottle.
Like there are things that I would never eat like back in California, or like maybe they were treats, right? Like I love ice cream, but you know what? I would limit it to like maybe once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks, just depend on when we can get to the actual, ice cream parlor, the one that I liked that had the good ice cream. I would have cake if it was somebody's birthday. I wouldn't just have cake on a Tuesday. Here, pastel de nata is everywhere and it's so freaking good. And there was a time like for the past 3 years where like I would just stop in the middle of the day and be like, I'm going to get a pastel de nata and a coffee, and I'm just going to sit in this cafe, and I'm going to chomp down on this thing and enjoy the hell out of it and drink this coffee. And then next thing you know, you're doing this like every day, right? Like you're doing an afternoon stop because that's what Portuguese people do, right? Here, it's not a big deal. I saw a woman, I was walking by this little pasteleria, and she was sitting there, and it was about 4:30 in the afternoon, and she had a coffee and she had a gigantic slice of cake. And you know what? She was all alone. Nobody was sitting there talking with her, eating this cake with her. Just yum, yum, yum. And good on her. Like that's
Were you a little jealous? Because I'm hearing that in the way you're telling this story.
Yes.
I feel like we flip-flopped. Because I had a raging sweet tooth in the States.
Oh
and
my gosh.
it's kind of gone. I don't.
What?
Yeah. I feel like these pastry shops are a little lost on me. I mean, I used to send pictures to my mom all the time, getting her excited about, her visit and what she was going to eat.
Yeah.
And then she came, and we both were like, meh. I mean, it's all good, but something has shifted, and I'm not eating.
Oh man,
that was not my life the sugar.
My sister-in-law, Jeremy's siblings, my friends, my immediate circle of friends, they always knew. I was always on some new plan, some new program. I mean, today I'm vegan. Tomorrow I'm gluten-free. Probably by Friday, I'm going to be, low carb, Atkins.
San Francisco.
Oh, every freaking week it was something new. Oh, what was the last one I was doing? I had the books for it as well. What was that caveman thing? Like eating only stuff that caveman.
Is that the paleo diet?
No. Paleo diet. Oh my God. Every week, every month, some new crazy this is the way I'm going to eat now. This is going to get me down to the weight I want to be at. This is going to get me looking all sexy and hot. I don't do that anymore here. I haven't been on some crazy diet in 3 years, literally. And you know what? It is freeing. It is absolutely the chains are off. I'm just surprised that I haven't gained more than 10 pounds. Because, pastries and and the amount of meat these people eat. I mean, meat all the time. Wait, oh.
Fernando just broke his chair.
I just broke a wheel on my chair. Clearly, I've gained more than 10 pounds. Clearly. Oh my God. Jason, moving on. You sort of dangled a little like a carrot or even some red meat even at the beginning of the podcast when you're talking about...
protein, if you will.
Little protein for everybody. By the way, I think it needs to be said that semen does not carry as much protein as everyone seems to think that it does, by the way. I've done the research on this. Trust me, it's
I'm going to let you... in the food section. All right, that's our transition.
Right. Staying within the food topic.
And meeting your macros. This one will not help you get there.
Let's go to your fantasy versus reality. What was the fantasy?
I mean, it's too bad we can't do a visual because it would just be la 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 la. The fantasy was a single gentleman in his prime having a good time. That was the fantasy.
Okay.
And the reality is not that said single gentleman is not having a good time,
right,
but that there are compounding factors involved. So I think I'll start out with a little story, which is actually back in San Francisco. I moved to San Francisco. I'm 25 years old. I'm having a really good time. And I'm starting to see a gentleman. And I'm starting to have a regular fling with this gentleman. And I pop positive for my first STI.
Oh, and wow. That was the first one on moving to San Francisco?
That was my first one.
Congratulations.
And, I'm a Catholic boy, and I was ashamed and I just had all kinds of feelings. And they made it really clear at the clinic that I needed to call the people that I had had sex with and I don't know how many days it took. I mean, not days, but how long it took me to call him, because I just felt dirty and I felt wrong and I felt, felt all the feelings, right?
Of
But
course,
the
yeah.
but the clinic had said really clearly, they were like, no, you need to let them know, because they also need to be treated, they need to be tested. This is our responsibility.
Yeah, and you were like,
And
"Oh my god, you want me to call this person that I had sex with and let them know
no,
that I have." Oh, I mean, just the thought.
oof, oof. I mean, I already know I'm going to hell, but like, gee, yeah, now I got to call the person too. So I pick up the phone. I call him. I was probably 26 years old, 25 years old. He was 37, I think.
Mhm.
Um,
Oh, you dating them
and
daddies. Okay.
I love a gentleman of a certain age. Yeah. Um, I remember he did me a solid favor, because he said, "Jason,
Mm.
were you having any symptoms when we had sex?" And I said, "No." He goes, "Okay. Could you see anything?" "No." "Did you have a good time?" "Yeah." "Great. I didn't have any symptoms. I didn't see anything. We have absolutely no idea who gave this to the other person. I had a great time, and I'm just going to go to the doctor and get tested and see whether or not I need to be treated. And we're done."
See, this is
And
why you date, like, older men, because older men get their S together, okay? That's what you
that's
say.
that's what you say. That's what you say. Because it really is nobody's fault. I mean,
Uh,
now if you out here and you're dripping and you're still having sex, like, we got a problem. Okay. But
mm.
that's a whole
No
other
drip.
conversation.
Mm,
Okay. It's a whole other
mm.
conversation.
Of course.
Um, but he really took the shame out of the conversation, because he was like, "We used a condom. We did everything that you're supposed to do.
Mm,
This is a microscopic pathogen.
right.
Like, let's calm down." Right?
Yeah.
So,
You're not gonna go to hell because you have this STI. Like,
you're
you're
not gonna. No, exactly, exactly. So, how does this relate to, like, to the
Greece.
reality versus the fiction? I
Mm,
get here, and what's really interesting is that PrEP has just become uh, freely available within mid 2025. But it's very tightly controlled.
okay.
So there's
And for
only a
those who aren't thinking about, you know, who aren't as sexually active or gay, although, anybody really can use PrEP, but I mean, yeah, like, just a couple words about, like, what PrEP is?
Oh yeah, sure. Actually, if I was a straight woman having sex these days, I'd be on PrEP, because their numbers
Mhm,
are going up. Um, PrEP is a pre-exposure prophylactic. We are not giving medical advice. We're just sharing information that we've learned. Let's
mhm,
put that stipulation out there. Um, it is a antiviral prophylactic that you take in one of two regimens. One is every day, and the other one is called the 211 protocol. You need to talk to your doctor to figure out which one is right for you and whether or not you have the right medicine, because the 211 protocol does not work for every single drug that is labeled as PrEP. So PrEP has just become available, and it's really been eye-opening to be back in a community that is going through that transition. And I don't mean a transition from condom to condomless sex. I'm talking about a transition around, what does it mean to take a drug that takes away 99 point, I don't know what the current number is, percentage
mm,
of getting HIV. Because that, for me, really started to undo a lot of the shame and fear in my body. And
mm,
that was in place because my grandmother, I'm a child of the 80s and early 90s, prime time for HIV and AIDS. My grandmother was the head of a pain management program at a hospital, because of her family history and some things that went on. When she saw all of these gay men that were coming through the pain management program that were HIV positive, I shouldn't say gay men, men who have sex with men who are HIV positive, and being disowned from their families.
mm,
This is pre protease inhibitors coming out in 95. I suddenly had all of these uncles, quote unquote,
right.
that would show up at family events.
Aw.
And, I have very clear memories of my sister and I pushing men in wheelchairs at a Christmas event and them being covered in KS lesions because my Nana understood, my grandmother understood that we were not going to get it. So what they needed was human touch, care, love, community, feeling, that they were together, which is a beautiful memory. But the moment that I kind of realize that I'm gay, much later on in life, I make the connection that all the gay men that I know are men that are dying, essentially. And that really was deep within my psyche. And I remember, I don't know about your experience with PrEP, but for me, when I hit that, I think it's 2 weeks, you take it for 2 weeks straight or a week straight, and you reach a level in your blood system that, like, essentially you're not going to get HIV. And I felt something kind of unlock in me. And it was a deep fear that had been there that was inhibiting my ability in the bedroom to fully enjoy myself, because there was always that question: is this going to be the one? Is this going to be the time the condom breaks?
Yeah.
Is this going to be the time where I'm going to have a cut that I don't know, and it's going to produce a point of entry, and this person has not been honest with me about their status, or a whole
there was always
myriad of things.
that fear, right? Like, I mean, that's why, like, again, I was in my 20s in the 90s, and this was well before PrEP. But, many of us were convinced that we were going to get it. And, I was one of those people just like, you know what? I'll stay home and take care of myself. I'm not going to go out there and look for, I mean, I just had so little sex in my 20s, and I look back on it and go, God, I'm so sad. But I mean, like,
and
I missed out.
And the medical system really did us a dirty. And I don't just mean what, around lack of, some of the lack of research and government response. I'm talking about, like, how those prejudices, would flow down. I had an experience. I went away for undergrad, and I ended up getting really, 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 really sick. I had mono the end of my first semester. When I revealed to the doctor, when they were trying to figure out what was going on, that I was gay and I just had my first sexual experience, her first response was, oh, you might be seroconverting right now.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, and if you look at the symptoms, sure, that's in the realm of possibilities. But what would that have been her first response to someone that had not said
Absolutely, yeah. No,
that they were gay?
If that was a straight man, she'd have been like, well, let's keep looking and see what
Let's
this could be.
keep looking. So of course, I spent the next, 72 hours at that point, where they remember where they had to send the blood off? No, it was like a week or something.
Oh yeah.
I mean, back then it was.
There's an episode of the Golden Girls where where Rose is she went in for a blood transfusion, and then, like, something like 6 years later, they sent her a letter and said, oh, that blood transfusion, well, the blood might have been contaminated with HIV, so you need to come in and get a test. And Rose had one of her, like, famous Golden Girls meltdowns, and she was like, she goes in, she gets the test, and then they're like, well, now you have to wait 2 weeks to get the results. 2 weeks?
Well, that was basically me in New York at the time.
She was about to throw herself over the cliff. Like, she was like, I can't. What am I going to do? Actually, I don't even think it was 2 weeks. I think it was like 3 days, like something like that. This was an eternity for Rose to find out whether she was HIV.
Well, I mean, it is an eternity. That was really stressful back then, the timetable.
We were dealing with a disease that had no cure, and the consequences for this disease were horrendous. And quite often, you lost your life. Like, it was the scariest thing. One of the scariest things, I think, as gay people, probably the scariest thing we've ever been through, at least for me and my generation, your generation. Absolutely.
Yeah. Now here I am in Greece, and I'm, previously when I would come to visit, I had 3 months worth of PrEP with me, because I would get like a vacation prescription, essentially, where they would give me 3 months at a time as opposed to a month. And I never really thought about access issues to that. But also, I was not really getting tested here, because I was doing a whole host of protocols, right? So I was using DoxyPep. I had gotten this vaccine that they had shown significantly drops gonorrhea exposure. I mean, I was like, Iron Man out here. I felt good.
Exactly. Like the strength of the community and the and just all the things available to you in San Francisco.
And yes,
just, I mean, you had it all. Like, you know what? I'm not gonna get AIDS because I got this, and I'm not gonna get gonorrhea because I got this, and if I don't want to get this, then I can do this. See, like, I mean, there was always options, and there was always ways to protect yourself where you came from.
And they're also, I mean, I think that's the thing, like, right? So, like, I had that experience with that wonderful gentleman who really evacuated the shame out of the conversation of like, how, what happens when you get an STI? But then this was also supported by the clinics that we had access to, right?
Yeah.
Specifically, Magnet at Strut. I mean, they are doing the Lord's work there.
Absolutely. And thank God for them too. Like, I mean, I think I brought this up earlier to you off the air, but I mean, yeah, I mean, I moved back to Philadelphia when I was 29 years old, and I was sexually active at that time. I wasn't dating anybody. I was trying to have a good old time. And, I had some symptoms that could have been an STI. I'm not sure what it was. Actually, in hindsight, it wasn't. Turns out I was negative for anything, but I just went to my general practitioner. I went to a doctor at the local hospital and told her that I had these symptoms, and she, did this and did that. And she's just like, so are you sexually active? And I said, yes. Do you have a partner? I'm like, well, no, I'm dating, actually, I'm dating around, so are you having sex with these partners? I'm like, yeah, a couple of them, and so I'm telling her the whole, I'm just telling her my history. And basically, like, she just cast some serious. If she was the Lord, she would have smite me right there in the examination room. Like, what? You're having sex with how many men? And, are you protecting yourself? I'm like, well, of course I'm protecting myself. I think I might need to let your insurance company know that you're an at-risk patient, and all of these things. And I literally, because I was 29, and this was well before I learned about sex positivity. I mean, I left that doctor's office like, I just felt lower than low. I was like, oh my God, I think I am going to hell. Like, I think this lady made me feel like shit because, I was dating and doing what, single gay men do when they're 29 years old. Thankfully, in the end, it wasn't, sexually transmitted. And, I wish I could have gone back to that doctor and be like, ha, see this bitch? Clean bill of health. That would never, but that would never even make up for the amount of shame that she gave. So to have, all of the resources that we had in a city like San Francisco, so much of it is so great that, that it's all there. But, a lot of the reasons why people don't use it is because they're too ashamed to go, because they feel like they're going to have an experience like what I had when I was 29 years old.
I mean, the brilliance of what they're doing at Magnet, at Strut, or Strut at Magnet, I always forget which way it goes, it's the videos, actually. You're given the all of the materials to swab, because you do a self-test. You go into the bathroom, and there are a series of videos in which essentially local celebrities and whatnot are doing the testing, and I mean, some of those tests are real personal. And
can I tell you a little story?
Yeah, tell me.
They asked my co-host and I to do
local celebrities, see?
And we're like, you want us to do what? You want me to take this Q-tip and put it where? And then I remember we had to like go to our boss and be like, okay, so here's what they want us to do. He was like, no. Let's see what it's, again, we wound up working with them in a different way, but thankfully we were not the ones that were like, hey,
you could have done a live taping from one bathroom to the other. What you doing in there? Did you get a good swirl?
I don't know, girl. I don't think you went in deep enough. I think you might have to try this one again. Let me give you a clean one.
Oh.
These clinics, again, and they're free for everybody, or at least low cost, depending on what you need to have done. And then just to have them there is it's a quality of life.
Well, what's the phrase? What's the phrase I'm looking for? It's like it's harm reduction. Harm reduction. Because if you are in there and you're deeply intimate with like all the different tests that you do, how do you keep yourself safe? And also, it's like, okay, this is a safe space where you can be honest about what you are doing in your sex practices, what you're adding to your sex practices, all the factors around it, so that the clinician can go, cool, have you thought about X?
Right.
Because I'm not going to tell you what you need to do or not do with your body. I'm going to say, here are the ways that you can keep you and the rest of your community safe.
Yes.
And all that's doing is keeping everybody safe, but it's also lowering stigma and shame around things that individuals are going to do anyway. They're just going to do it with a lack of education. Possibly. I'm not going to, there's a lot of people that are out there self-educating, and good for them. But that has been...
And nothing about that is based on shame, right? Or trying to keep people from having sex because, you're a dirty person. Like nothing, none of that is connected to it. It's all about, it's basically just coming to terms with the fact that like people are going to have sex. So you know what? Give them all the information they need so they can make the best decisions.
I mean, I'm watching that new Netflix series, The Dinosaurs. I'm going to take a right turn. We'll come back for a second. But I'm watching that new Netflix series, The Dinosaurs. And I don't know, the first or second episode, it's fantastic, by the way. The CGI is insane.
We've watched the first 2 episodes. Yeah, we're into it too. Although I did fall asleep at the end of the second one. Anyway.
I mean, fair, because it's constantly like, look at this cute little thing. It's about to die.
I
mean,
know,
that's essentially
what's
going on.
I said that to Jeremy. I'm like, Jeremy, I'm sorry. I still want to watch it. But honestly, it's very repetitive. It's like, yes.
It's very repetitive.
Little does she know that she's about to be eaten by a bigger dinosaur, or she's going to be overtaken by another. Like she's doesn't know
the end
that.
of her line. But it rained for 1 million years on this earth. 1 million years.
I know.
I'm going to go and have sex. I'm going to go and have sex and enjoy my body. It rained for 1 million years. Who the heck knows what's going to happen tomorrow? These people out here being, I'm a risk to some insurance company. It rained for 1 million years on Earth. Come on.
Yeah. Or the fact that I've known this, right? But when it said these creatures roamed the Earth 260 million years ago. And I'm like, oh my God, like I am here for a cup of coffee in comparison to like you better make that coffee taste great.
It's not even a full cup of coffee, Fernando. I'm sorry. It's the moment the water hit the coffee beans, and that's it for you.
Exactly. When you compare how long this planet has been floating out in the universe and all the different creatures that have roamed and gone extinct, our presence here is a freaking blip. Yeah. So you know what? I don't want to hear about, you're going to hell because you had sex with another man. No, fuck you.
Yeah. Come on.
I'm here to be the best person I can be and have as much fun as I possibly can. And that is it.
Get your prostate stimulated. It'll be a better world for all the rest of us.
That's what I'm telling you.
I mean,
if somebody could just do that for Putin.
Back that up.
Ukraine would be great.
Back that up. We don't need that on here. And I ain't asking for him to back it up.
There's going to be a lot of editing going on. All right, so now we got to cross over into so what's happening in Greece with all this?
I haven't given you a wrap up. So the wrap up is basically so there are a couple things going on, right? So there's the harm reduction models that I'm used to there hasn't been an education campaign that I've seen around DoxyPep because there's already a pretty big resistance to antibiotic usage in general, which is great. Like I don't have an issue around that. But what I found really kind of cognitively some cognitive dissonance around is when there are hurdles, including financial hurdles, to get tests, and I mean every 3 months, full battery of tests, finding
Yes.
out whether, because we're not symptomatic for everything, so we can be carrying something, passing it along, and not know that. When that costs money, and not an insignificant amount of money,
Right.
people are not going to do it. And it's actually been straight women who mostly have told me stories about like, yeah, I ask men to use a condom and whatnot, and they're really resistant, or go and get tested and they're really resistant. And so I'm like, I'm going to take that DoxyPep, because that is one of the only things that I have as a strategy to help knock down. And I should say what DoxyPep is. DoxyPep is the opposite of PrEP, in that you take it 24 to 72 hours after sex. And it significantly drops down the possibility of transmission of syphilis, chlamydia, and to a lesser extent gonorrhea. Gonorrhea is not as effective, still tricky. And so it's not a question of like, from a fantasy reality of like, I'm not having sex. It's a question of I've suddenly become aware of a kind of psychological resistance to being as free as I once felt in a place like San Francisco, because I knew there that people were getting, in order for them to get their PrEP, they were getting tested for the full battery every 3 months. And while that wasn't a safeguard completely against getting an STI, it dramatically dropped the numbers. I mean, I just felt safer. I mean, I really can't remember.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Because when you're prioritizing your sexual health and you feel like the community around you is doing the same thing, then you can rest a bit easier, because, you've taken your precautions. You're doing everything you could do to remain healthy. And everybody around you is doing the same thing. Like, come on, game on. Let's have a good time. But for a lot of people, taking care of themselves in this way just isn't a priority when you have to spend a significant amount of money to maintain it. And, and I get it, it's just, that makes it difficult.
I think my sense, and I don't have, kind of qualitative data on this, but my sense is it's that combination of the financial barrier plus the shame conversations around sex in general. And as I say to my friends, I came into this body for pleasure. I didn't come into this body for pain.
Get it, mama. Get it. We're going to get you a shirt. We're going to get you a shirt that says that.
May that beach swing get here soon enough.
when you write your intro for the next episode, that's what you need to include.
My name is Jason. I'm living in Athens, Greece, and I came into this body for pleasure. I didn't come into this body for pain, unless it's Folsom Weekend.
There are exceptions to the rule.
To the rule.
Let's move along, because I think we have some more gifts from Tassos that we wanted to.
Stay safe out there, friends.
Yes, everybody, please do stay safe. And, whether you live in a city where your resources are robust, like San Francisco or a New York or a London even. And, we've talked about Berlin in the past as well. All those cities definitely have some really serious, strong structures as far as keeping everyone safe, but especially the LGBT plus community.
Yeah.
Here's what I need to do. I need to find these sweepers from Tassos. Where did they go? All right. I'm opening the preview now. Sorry.
They just wanna have fun.
I love it.
That's a good outro.
I love it. Okay. All right, Jason, let's move on to the next segment, which is we have just one listener question this week. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
This came from Tara via Instagram at Fernando for Real. She says, I really want to try living somewhere else other than the US, at least for like a year or two, if not maybe a little bit longer. But the process seems really overwhelming to me. What is the first step, or even maybe two steps, that I can take to help get me started? What you want to go for it? What would be the first thing you would do had this, this notion to move to Greece just popped up in your mind? What would you do?
I would go and spend as much time as I can afford to, and afford means a whole bunch of things, not just financially, but also, you know, with your job, with your pre-existing commitments, things like that. Spend as much time as you can in that place, because
Yes.
vacationing and living are two entirely different things.
100%.
Then it's a question of, what are you trying to do with this move, right? Is this a relocation? Or is this I'm just trying to go and learn a language and get a reframe on my life? Because I think then you're scaling or scaffolding something very different. I mean,
Mm.
there's always the possibility of returning in either of the situations. But if I was going for like a year or 2 years, then I would be looking at like, okay, could I take a sabbatical from my job and go and do a language learning program for 6 months in one place and maybe 6 months in another place? Because the language learning programs are the quickest and oftentimes easiest ways to also get the visa that would allow you to stay for that long in a country. Oftentimes those programs will also have access to furnished apartments or will help you find an apartment. That's the lowest kind of barrier, I think, for doing this type of thing. What do you think?
Well, I agree with you 100%. And that's exactly where, like what you've just said is exactly where I would start. You really have to start first in your head. And that is the most important thing. Like I always like to say, okay, what are you moving for? Are you running to something or are you running away from something? And you really have to have that clear. And the answer can be both, right? It can be Portugal is great and I really want to live there, and the US is a mess right now and I need to get away from it. But it can't be the US is a mess right now and I really need to get away from it. I'll go anywhere, because that's going to make you even more miserable than if you were to just stay behind and deal with what's going on in the US right now.
I
Would
don't
you
know
agree?
if I don't know if I'm on that train, Fernando.
No,
Um,
you would just go anywhere. Like, oh, let's screw it. Let's make it happen.
no, I mean, I wouldn't just go anywhere, but I think like if the motivation is like, I don't feel safe, which is
Okay.
very real for a lot of people.
Sure.
I don't feel safe for a variety of reasons. I need to leave. I think that's a totally valid reason, especially because it may help dictate the time period that you want to go for.
I'm glad that you pointed that out, because I was definitely coming from sort of the place of there is no threat, right? Like, you're really annoyed, or maybe you are a little scared, but in general, there really isn't anything that you need to be fearful of. Nothing immediate is coming to get you. If you're just sort of like, "Ugh, I just don't want to be here anymore," then, I don't think the answer is to run away from it, is what I'm saying. Now, if you're someone who is dealing with threats of being deported, or maybe you're just different and you live in a community that doesn't accept your difference or tolerate your differences, then yes, you have a perfectly good reason for wanting to get out of that place as well. And maybe like sort of having a place that you really another place that you would rather be is a bit of a luxury in that case. But again, I think that all goes into the thought process of it too, is like just sort of gauging the threat that you're dealing with where you are right now, and then just being a bit more sure and having some confidence in the fact that, okay, where I'm going, things will be different and they'll be better. So definitely don't be afraid to pick that apart. you know
Fair. I mean,
Within your mind and with your friends and your family as well.
and maybe your therapist.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I mean, because in some ways, I think part of what I like about what you're saying is it's this question of constantly getting underneath What's the reason?
Whatever it takes to be able to spend some time in different places, or even if it's just one particular place. Maybe you've read enough about somewhere where you've already in your head have decided, yeah, that's where I think I can be. That's where I think I can flourish. Then go there. So whether it be a week-long vacation because you've got vacation coming up, or again, some may have the luxury of being able to spend more time than just a week. Whatever you've got, use it to spend time in that place. And don't do touristy things. Do things like go to the supermarket, right? See what it's like to buy some groceries, right? Hang out in a park, commute on a bus, commute on a subway, and do it at like rush hour. Right. And see, what is it like for people going to work in this city or in this area? Because that's going to be your reality when you do, if you choose that place to live, when you get there, chances are these are going to be your realities too. And you need to know pretty quickly whether you can handle this stuff or if this stuff is acceptable to you. I think we just gave Tara about like maybe 6 or 7 steps.
There you go.
When she was asking for like 1 or 2. All right. That's going to do it for this episode of Bear Fur and Sparkles. Jason Hanesick, thank you so much
Fernando,
for your time today. Always a pleasure, sir.
They just wanna have fun.
I love that so much.